Okay, by show of hands, who's cooking with me today? Okay, I Ted, Dan, Ted and Dan. All right. So the rest of you are just gonna sit back in your armchair and chillax and watch. So that's cool. And let me do a camera test with Ted. Ted, you want to see if we can see what you're doing? I mean, show me your flip the camera around so I can see your desk. Yeah. Okay, cool. You got your bird. What kind of bird is it?
Yeah, it's just a young chicken, about 4.5 pounds.
And then Dan, what do you have?
It was a 6-pound bird, but that's with the giblets and everything.
Giblets and everything. Okay, very cool. My bird is a 4.8 pounds, $5.21 from Walmart. See, go with Walmart, man. You know, $5 for a bird. You know, it takes what 38 days to grow this from a chick, right? And you wonder if they can sell this for $5.81. What are they feeding the bird for 38 days? So that's going to be a pretty interesting equation to figure out. Those, you know, who are like me, always obsessed with financial numbers here. That's what I do for a living in my day job. So it's hard to switch off at 5 o'clock and go to kind of cooking mode. But this is a great segue to be able to kind of transition your day. You're wrapped up in the day job, and then you do a switch, bring out some meat, start the fire, smell the smoke, and you're transported to a new world. So that's what it's all about here. Okay, so it's 5:10. We give them a chance to start. So if they join, we'll add them to the list here, but we'll get you guys started here. So what are we doing? We're doing tandoori chicken. Tandoori chicken is something done from the Indian tradition. How many here have eaten tandoori chicken in an Indian restaurant? Raise your hands. Feel you have. Okay. So it is a wonderfully moist chicken characterized by a red tint on it. And in a traditional tandoori in an Indian restaurant, the red tint is provided by some food coloring. Okay, so let me switch down to the main view. Let me see here. Let me switch this to make this the main view. Tandoori chicken is the Indian's tradition chicken. What we're gonna do is something called a spatchcock. Spatchcock is nothing terribly exotic. All we do is remove the spine, and we spread the chicken out after we cut through and crack the breastbone. So before we do the chicken, I'm show you guys how to make some of the Indian rub. So you guys know that like rubs, you can buy a rub, any kind of rub is good. Indian cuisine uses something called garam masala. So garam masala is something that's very common in Indian cooking. It's considered a warming spice. It doesn't substitute for the curry powder. It doesn't substitute for all the ingredients, but every family in India will have their own recipe for garam masala. So it's kind of like barbecue rub. You know, I have many recipes, and this is like my personal favorite for cooking chicken. Many families in India have garam masala, where they create special ingredients for the garam masala. I'm going to show you my version of garam masala, which is based on a few ingredients I have on my table here. You can make garam masala with up to 20 ingredients, but I'm going to show you the ones we're going to use here. We're going to have some whole cumin seed, coriander, and cardamom. So just remember, Harry taught you the 3 C's of Indian cuisine, because once you put the 3 C's in, the exotic flavors you get from these 3 ingredients combined will remind you of Indian food. You guys heard of the Holy Trinity? For example, when you cook like a Louisiana-style Cajun and Creole cuisine, they have the Holy Trinity of the bell pepper, the onion, and celery. So this is kind of like the same in Indian cuisine. So whenever you add these 3 ingredients, you automatically get a kind of a very exotic style Indian flavor. So these are the 3 ingredients we're going to use to form the base of the garam masala. Now, once you do that, right, there are other ingredients you want to be able to add. For heat, I'm going to use a little bit of black pepper. You can also add cayenne. You can add ground chili. You can add any kind of pepper you like to make it spicy. So that's the spicy component. So we have the trinity of Indian cuisine. We have a little bit of heat. Now we want to add some sweet. So some sweet is something like a cinnamon and clove, give you that kind of a sweetness. And then for like a fruity fragrance, I like to add some nutmeg. Okay, so this is a recap of the simple garam masala we're gonna make, comprised of the trinity of Indian flavor, a little bit of heat, a little bit sweet, and a little bit of fragrance. The way you make garam masala is you can grind the spices into powder. So garam masala can be purchased already made like that, and you can buy it. If you don't want to make it, it's okay. I find that when you make it yourself, it's just so much better, because when you toast the spices, you release the essential oils, and then once you grind it, it takes the flavor up and down. So if you really want to impress your family, friends, and your mother-in-law, father-in-law, don't buy the one from pre-made. Buy the one. Go make it yourself. I'm show you guys how to do that. Not that hard. I like to start with you can say like 2 parts of cumin and cardamom. So I'm sorry, cumin and coriander, like 2 parts, right? And then we'll add just about 1 part of the cardamom. Cardamom is very strong. Depending on the one you buy, some are very dry and not fresh. So the way you do it is you sniff it. If you smell it, you have a strong smell of cardamom. That means that this is really fresh. If you smell it and there's no fragrance, toss it, because it's old. So just go and buy it. It's not that expensive. It's like $1.50 for a bag. So I'm going to put about that much. So 2 parts of coriander, 2 parts of cumin, 1 part of the cardamom pods here, like that. You can see this? Yeah, you can see this. Okay, cool. All right. Now, then we add some heat. So heat is pepper, just as much as you want. I'm going to do about yay much, about maybe 1 tablespoon. So kind of like 2 tablespoons of coriander, 2 of cumin, 1 of cardamom. And then we have this thing called cinnamon. Cinnamon has a very nice kind of warming flavor to it, sweet warming flavor. So masala means warming spice. So, and the next thing we want to add is a hint of cloves. Like cloves is very, very strong. So I'll put in about that much, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon. Push it on this side so you can see. So for those of you who want to follow me along, I don't know if you found the ingredients, but Ted is cooking along, and Dan is cooking along. So let me pause and check with Dan. Hey Dan, are you guys okay?
Yeah, Harry. Yeah, I'm
Ted,
starting to load up my pan. So
okay.
I've got.
You want to continue? You want to show me what you have on your pan? Show me your pan. Okay, Dan, I see Dan's pan, right? Yeah, Dan, you're good, right, Dan?
Yep. I'm good.
Cool. And then Ted, you're good? Make sure you're following along, Ted.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
You're good? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to walk over there and then roast these spices on the stove. And we're going to roast it under like we start out high, and then once it gets warm, we're going to lower it and roast it. The way you tell that it's ready is when you can smell the essential oils released from the spices. And this one has about 6 or 7 ingredients, so nothing terribly complicated that you can execute at home. Some garam masalas have other ingredients. I'll show you guys what they are. So here are some of the other ingredients that you can put in. So you can add also mustard seeds. You can add fennel. You can also add black mustard seeds. You can also add this spice called fenugreek. So this is a little bit exotic, but if you want to up your game, you can spend countless hours fixing up your garam masala to hit the flavor notes that you like. Okay, he's warming up now. So Ted and Dan, are you guys warming up your spices now?
Yeah, it's toasting.
Toasting, and okay, be very careful. Turn the fire not too high. The last thing you want to do is burn it, because once you burn it, right, you have to start over. So you have to be able to cover once you burn the spices. So like a medium heat is fine, depending on how big your pan and how big the fire is. So I'm just toasting it to the point where I can smell the fragrance. If it starts to pop, it's too hot, okay? So if your spices, the seeds start to pop, that means turn the fire down. It's way too hot.
Sometimes when I toast spices, I keep the target bowl or where I'm going to cool those spices close, because it can go from well toasted to burnt in like the 2 to 3 seconds.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So you can hold it above and continue to kind of shake the spice. That way you can moderate the heat by raising the pan up and down. And toasting spices is something that is a lot of fun to do. At least I think it's a lot of fun. And if I can help it, I'll prefer to toast my spices. And I like to make it in small batches. So this batch will be used for this dish. Yeah, I'm beginning to smell the essential oils being released from these spices. So probably another maybe 30 seconds. We should be good. You guys want to see a close up of the spices?
You can smell it from here.
Yes, smell-o-vision. Yes, smell-o-vision, and that's how it looks like. These are the spices. And they are wonderful because you can make this and then store it in the pantry for 6 months easily without losing any potency. And I guarantee you, once you start toasting and making your own spices, you find that it's better than trying to buy a store bought. Even though store bought is very, very convenient. Okay, so I think it's done. Let's just go ahead and grind it up now. So I have a spice grinder here, coffee grinder actually. I'm gonna transfer this here. Ted and Dan, how are you guys doing? Are you okay?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So let me pulse this thing here. So. Okay, so it's almost there. Not quite enough grind yet. So let me do it a couple more pulses. Okay, that's good enough. So let me see if I can show you how this thing looks under the light here. That's the amount of consistency you want. So I wish you were here. The fragrance of the ground spices, all the oils are kind of hitting you in the nostrils now. So that's how it looks like. Pour it into a cup here. Okay, so that's the important component of tandoori. This is the garam masala. Any questions from anybody? Okay, we'll run through the spices here. So the trinity, we start with the 3 C's. Just remember, Harry taught you the 3 C's: cumin, coriander, and cardamom. And you can do this with just these 3 ingredients. It'll be really like an Indian style flavor. Just like if you want to cook Chinese food, right? Here's a tip. If you have ginger, green onion, and garlic, you blend it together, that food will taste Chinese. That's kind of how it is. Yeah, just like, in Italian cuisine, garlic, a little bit of onion, a little bit of tomato, you have like an Italian style tomato paste. So as I teach these cooking classes, I'll teach you guys how to structure and build what I call these Lego blocks. So once you study cooking like I do, well, actually, I don't study cooking. I'm like an MMA fighter. I'm a total quack. So you're listening to a quack teach you how to cook. So I'm like an MMA fighter. I'll use jiu-jitsu, I'll use karate, taekwondo, kickboxing, Grecian wrestling, whatever technique it takes to win, because I am a competitor. So I don't follow any traditional culinary styles because I borrow all the styles. I do whatever is effective. I do whatever will win first place awards. So that's kind of how I cook. So these are the 3 trinity of Indian spices. A little bit of heat. You can use pepper, white pepper. You can use cayenne. You can use chili powder. It's fine. And then a little bit of what I call the sweet warm spice like cinnamon and cloves. And then the last thing we're going to add a little bit of fragrance. We're going to add a little bit of ground nutmeg. So you notice I didn't grind the nutmeg because it's already a powder. I'm going to sprinkle some in here. Probably, I want to say a smidgen, whatever. Does anybody know what a smidgen is?
Like 3 shoots?
Just a little bit.
I don't know. See, the problem with me is that I cook without any reference to recipes, because to me, recipes are just a guide. So I put in probably, I would say, half teaspoon of some ground nutmeg. Now, nutmeg is a very, very strong and fragrant spice. So when you buy it, always smell it. Make sure that you don't have nutmeg sitting around in your pantry from 10 years ago, because you're just putting sawdust into your seasoning. So smell the nutmeg. It should have a wonderful, fruity, floral note. And this one, when you add to a rub, it will actually up your game a lot, right? So folks like these people here, that's what the secret ingredient they put in their product. So shh, don't tell anybody, okay? All right. Can you use fresh nutmeg? Amy asked. No, you cannot, because the essential oils of the nutmeg come from the seed. When you grind the cover of the skin, is called mace. Let me show you how mace looks like. Mace and nutmeg are from the same fruit. Nutmeg, you have some nutmeg?
Yeah. See.
Oh, you have a nutmeg? Let me see here. Who's this, Dan?
Ryan.
Ryan, can you go that way? Oh, yeah, here. Okay, great. So for those of you looking at the screen, look at Ryan's screen. He has the actual nutmeg, and the nutmeg is the seed. The fruit is edible. It's very tart, but it's edible. So I guess the mace is the coating on the seed you see in Ryan's shot here. So when you have the coating and you grind it up, it becomes mace. And both of them have essentially the same kind of a floral note. And I always tell people that this is one of those undiscovered spices, because it's not just good for Thanksgiving. You can use nutmeg to up your game when you compete to make macaroni cheese. You can also use it when you do competition chili. You can actually put a little bit of floral note from the nutmeg that the judges will not know what it is, but when they taste it, it's gonna make your food entry stand out. So this is a tip that you guys want to try when you cook, have different cuisines. Okay. So any questions about the garam masala before we move on? Okay. Excellent. So let's move to getting the chicken ready. We got a garam masala that's good enough for the marinade. I'm going to record this session so you can watch this part that you missed. Okay, so garam masala is ready.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching. I actually had some work to do, so I'm just going to be joining in to watch and see how everything goes, if that's okay.
You're going to multitask, right? You're going to be work and work.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, all right, so for those, Ted and Dan, get your bird ready. We're going to fix the bird now. So let's get it out of the packaging. All right, we want to get all the stuff in there. So make sure you get the neck, the heart, the liver, and the gizzard out. A lot of folks, they don't realize that there's stuff in the cavity. And so this is good. You can save this. I'm going to throw it in the stock pot here.
Where was that 40 years ago?
And we're going to prep a spatchcock. So the easiest way to prep your spatchcock is you see the butt here. To make it easy on you, trying to figure out where to cut, just make sure that you have the butt here. You line up your scissors on the left and right of the butt. So hold the butt, put your scissors in here, and cut it this way down. That's the easiest way to get in, and then you don't get the middle of the spine out without upsetting the joint from the chicken. A lot of novices, what they do is when they pull this part out, right, they end up cutting too deep in here, and then they end up severing the thigh joint, and then the whole spatchcock falls apart. So in order to avoid that, follow what I show you. Hold the butt, run your knife right down the one edge of the butt like so. Move your way towards the neck. Somebody's coming in.
It's Donna.
Okay, Donna. Yeah. Hey, Donna. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Donna.
So again, hold the butt little on this side. Run your hand this way and cut your way down the spine on the other side. So trying not to make sure that you don't end up cutting off the thigh joint, and the spatchcock will kind of fall apart when you cook it. You want that. Okay. You can use a knife also, but I find a pair of scissors work just as well. Trim this off. This one is good for stock. So throw in the stock pot. This is mine here. That goes in the stock pot. Hey Donna, I want to do an equipment check. Can you hear and see us?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Okay. All right, so here is the spatchcock. And what you want to do is you want to take a knife, just break the breastbone. So the breastbone is right here. So just run your knife here, right in the middle. Thanks for holding the camera.
Yeah.
Right, you just crack it. So break it. You can hear a little crack sound. And that's the spatchcock cracked open like so. Okay. All right. And what we're going to do now is score the leg like so. Take a knife, score around the leg. Be very careful if you have sharp knives here. Score around the egg so that we can remove the skin, because the tandoori is done skinless. So for those of you who want to have healthier chicken, the tandoori is a good option because it's done without the skin. Now, do you need a spatchcock chicken to do this? The answer is no. You can actually do it using chicken parts. So go buy some chicken quarters, chicken parts, and you can do it that way. All right, next thing I like to do is I cut down the middle of the skin here. So I kind of cut the skin off the breast, run my finger underneath the breast to remove the skin, making sure that there's a wad of fat right here on the neck here. So just make sure that you get some of that off. You don't have to worry about getting all of it off, but what I'm doing is I'm kind of like moving the skin away from the flesh. When I get to this thigh point, I make a cut. So pull this over and cut my way around the skin, around the wing area. I leave the skin on the wing drumette, and I leave the skin on the wing tip itself. So this will be good for the plating, which you'll see in a little bit how we plate a tandoori chicken. So I just pull the skin back. So Ted and Dan, you doing okay? I know it's kind of hard to watch and try to do it yourself, but doing it fine. So if you cut it, it becomes apart nicely like that.
It's also hard because my hands are full of chicken, so I can't hit the mute button very easy.
Okay, so here's the chicken skin from one side. So one down, I'm gonna do the other side. Same idea. Run your fingers through. Remove some of the fat near the breastbone here. You need a little bit of fat, but not too much. Hold it over. Make a cut right down the thigh here, the leg quarter. So hold the leg like a pillow, and it comes off just like that. Okay, we got that. Okay, now if there's some fat on the chicken, don't worry about it because some of the fat will render when you cook it in the pit. You do low and slow. If you want to start off at around 250-ish, the actual 250 will render more fat. So if you want a less oily chicken, you can cook it low and slow. That will render the fat. There's a little bit too much fat on the leading edge of the thigh here, so I'm going to trim some of this off. Same thing here. A little bit too much here, so just take about half of it off. Fat equals flavor, so you can do that here. All right, so here's the spatchcock chicken. Ready for the next phase. Any questions, anybody? You notice again, we don't never wash our chicken. We only use paper towels to clean it. Ted and Dan, you okay? I'll pause here.
Just finishing up with the skin.
Okay. Right. Okay, cool. And the rest of the armchair people can just watch a little bit and wait. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we need to prep the chicken. And let me get some other product out. While Ted and Dan are getting the chicken ready, I need to go and temp the chicken that's cooking. So I'm going to take you guys outside here and temp the chicken that's cooking. Okay, this one has come on the temp. This is the one we're going to cook in. We want it about 300-ish. That's just nicely and hot. Okay, this is done. Okay, good. Spray a little bit of water.
Hey, Harry.
Yeah.
You know how different smokers, like the smoke fire, they have different like hot zones. But like,
yeah.
How are you putting yours in relation to the hottest area or the coldest? Or
so on my smoke fire, between the left and right side, this side is hotter, so I ran on this side because I like a little char like tandoori. So you can see how gorgeous the color is. Beautiful char on the finished tandoori. And give it a little spritz of butter to get it glistening. These are all competition tricks. And then watch what happens when I run water on it. It has a nice glisten. So this is how I prepare my shots when I do my vlog, my food vlog. And you see all those beautiful glistening pictures. This is how we make it glisten. We use a combination of oil and water. And that will allow this thing to look like $1 million bucks. So a little bit of food photography type of trick. Okay. All right, so let's bring this over here and go finish the chicken. I'm gonna put a piece of foil over it. We have a spatchcock chicken. Next thing we wanna do is we wanna prepare it tandoori style. So you're gonna take a sharp knife and you're gonna make cuts through this flesh so that we can let the seasoning penetrate. I like to score with the thigh like this, just making cuts. Be careful, this is when you're playing with sharp knives, just be very careful. You wanna score the meat so that the marinade will penetrate. On the breast, I like to make diagonal cuts this way. So I'll show you guys how we do. Run your knife all the way to the breast bone. Same on this side. Okay. Place it on a rack like so. And just clean it up with a little bit of lemon juice. Get a little marinade going here. And this will really wake up the flavors and you're gonna get a nice flavor that we will use lemon juice at the end again. So you're gonna hit it with lemon juice pre-cooking and you're gonna hit it with lemon before you serve the tandoori. Get some lemon juice on it. Okay. All right, I'll pause here. Does anyone have any questions? So
this is in regards to the nutmeg. Is that something that you would use in competition?
Yes, I would use it in competition. That's one of my secret ingredients.
How much?
It's actually-
I've got a backyard competition this Saturday, chicken and ribs. So
Yeah.
how much nutmeg would you put on, say, a rack of ribs?
I would put a little bit into the rub. Enough to give a floral fragrance, but not enough to clue the judges that it's in there. I would also add a little bit of that into the sauce. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so like my barbecue sauce has nutmeg in it. So that's why when you open up the bottle of my sauce, it has a floral note that comes from nutmeg.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. So this is ready to go. We're ready for the next step. Next step is to get some of the coloring on it. Right now, this is just food coloring. If you don't want to use food coloring, it's okay. It's perfectly fine without the food coloring. This is a red color food coloring. So I'm gonna start to color the chicken. Now, this is a very important, right? You notice that I have the chicken on a tray and I have foil. Under no circumstances should you not wear gloves and have something covered, because once this red dye touches anything in your kitchen, especially like I have a marble floor, don't ask me how I know that it's really hard to get red dye off the marble floor. And you gotta be really, really careful. So put some on your hand, so.
Oh, God.
And you can go ahead and stain your chicken now. And if you want to skip this step, it's fine. So don't worry too much about the red dye if you don't want to use it, but I'm trying to do like very, very traditional Indian tandoori. So you can see here, beautiful color. Probably just about one, maybe half a teaspoon or 1 teaspoon is probably plenty. And
Funny. Don't ask me how I know.
yeah, because you can still see the stains on my floor. So, and that's why I know, this whole bottle, right, costs like what, $2, but the amount of work you have to do to get it off your body, get it off your, don't wear a white shirt doing this, please, okay? Because that white shirt would become a red shirt. Okay, so that's enough. Put it here. Screw the cap on very carefully. Okay, so first step, lemon juice. Clean the chicken. Neutralize any flavors using the lemon juice. Second step, put the red coloring on. Third step is you want to add some salt. Okay, now how much salt you want to add is up to you. I'm going to show you the amount I use for my tandoori. Now, the salt amount depends on how long you want to marinate. If you're going to do an overnight marinade, then you don't put so much salt. I'm not going to do an overnight marinade. I'm just going to cook it right after. So I'm going to add a little bit more salt. So I'm going to show you guys how much I put. And I just use regular salt. So you don't have to splurge for that kosher salt here. That's the regular salt. Now, the way the salt is applied is it has to be applied very carefully. You apply it right in the crevice first. So I don't season the surface. I season the cavity. So I'm going to show you guys. Amy's holding the camera here, so we can see how it's seasoning the cavity. Very important. Every square inch, right? The secret to winning the competition is that everything has flavor. So you want to scrape open these little cuts to get the salt right into the butterfly-shaped cavity before you season the outside. So get the salt into the cavity. That's why tandoori tastes so good, because the flavor penetrates all the way inside. In case you're wondering if you can use the barbecue rub here, yes, you can. You can also use the barbecue rub. So I'm spreading open the leaves here. I cut, putting the salt. Okay, so now I've done that phase. Now phase 2 is when I apply the rub, the salt all over. So nice even coat. Because I'm cooking this right away, I'm putting a little bit more. If you're going to be letting this sit overnight, especially Ted and Dan, you don't want to put so much salt. Okay, all right, so the salt layer is done. Let me pause here. Any questions, anybody? Now, let me proceed to the next layer. The next layer is using the Indian style jar, garlic, and ginger. So this is a ubiquitous ginger and garlic mixture that every Indian household has. So you buy this from the store, and it's minced garlic and ginger. It looks like this. It's a pasty kind of thing. Obviously, you can grind your own ginger. You can kind of mince your own garlic, but TMW, too much work, right? I just finished work, so there's no time to go prepare so many ingredients. All you need to do is buy this product here, and it's very useful because whenever you want to do any kind of Chinese cooking, you want to do any Indian cooking, you already have the paste here. Now, is it as good as fresh ginger and fresh garlic? Absolutely not. But in the pinch, hey, you know, what is it? Food Network show that that lady has, Sandra Lee. Like
Sandra Lee?
Sandra Lee, she has a show, right? So it's semi-homemade.
Yeah. Like
so
that.
this is kind of a semi-homemade cheese. So you want to grind your own ginger and garlic, by all means, but I'm not. So we put 1 tablespoon to marinate the chicken. So it's going to have a fantastic flavor of chicken coupled with garlic and ginger. And be absolutely fantastic. All right. So, question?
Harry.
Yes.
So if you don't have access to that, if you don't live near an Indian community, what percent do you think it's ginger and what percent is garlic?
I like a 2-to-1 ratio. Two parts garlic, 1 part ginger, because ginger is very pungent. It also depends on whether you're using young ginger or old ginger. So you can go to the store. If you buy young ginger, you need more of it. If you use old ginger, some old ginger is very strong, especially the ones that are kind of dry and gnarly. So depending on the ginger you want, I always say experiment with the combination you want. When I first started doing this, I kind of did like a 1-to-1, but over time I decided, you know, hey, I like the garlic flavor better. But you know, you guys watch my channel, you see me put 40 cloves of garlic on a rib, right? So you guys know I like garlic. So I'm always going to bias my portions towards the garlic side. All right, so here's the step with the ginger garlic paste. Any questions? Yeah, we just rub it in and we make sure we got it into a cavity like that. So now it's going to have tremendous amount of flavor in the chicken because the skin's not there. The flavor is going to penetrate really deep because we put the top layer first. The salt molecules are going to be absorbed by the chicken to make it moist and to give it flavor. Okay, so now we are ready to put this thing to work, which is the garam masala. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to apply some garam masala into the cavity. So first, before I apply it all over, and the flavor primarily comes from, so we use garam masala, we use some curry powder. I'll show you my curry powder here. So curry powder has turmeric in it, and this particular brand of curry powder has a lot of turmeric. If your curry powder is not golden yellow, it's kind of brownish or reddish, right? Then you should supplement using just turmeric powder. Because my curry powder is already so close to turmeric, I'm not going to need to add additional turmeric because the turmeric will give it a beautiful color. So I'm just going to use my curry powder here. Since I already am working on the apps here, put some curry powder in there. So I'm seasoning the chicken from inside out through these slits I've made. I have fantastic flavor. Okay, now I have it done. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the inside and sprinkle a little garam masala on the outside. All right, so here's the chicken completing this stage. Any questions from anybody?
Harry?
Yes.
Did you season the other side?
Bottom. Did you season the bottom?
No, I'm not going to season the bottom because we're not going to eat the bottom. So you're going to see how the bottom looks like. Here we go.
Yeah, let's see it.
We'll see here. There's no need to season the bottom because we're not going to eat any of the meat there. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the chicken prepped. Any questions? I'm going to show you guys how to prep the wet marinade now. Okay, we're good. All right, let's prep the wet marinade. Let me rinse off my hands. So the characteristic signature tandoori uses a yogurt-based marinade. Yogurt is used a lot in Indian cuisine because it has the same sort of effect as a buttermilk. So when you do fried chicken, you soak your chicken in buttermilk. Same idea. You're gonna get some of the. I like to use full fat, so don't buy the one that's kind of low fat. Just buy the regular yogurt. This is the So this is actually Indian yogurt. So I got lucky. I have the actual real Indian yogurt. But any kind of yogurt is fine. Don't buy any yogurt with fruit in it. So don't buy the strawberry yogurt or blueberry yogurt. So just get even Greek yogurt is fine. Just get some yogurt. We're gonna do about 1 cup of yogurt like that. Toss in the garam masala we made. So a little bit of curry powder. A little bit of that red dye. Maybe about 1 teaspoon. So just a touch of salt.
Just go tell me what the temp is in the fridge.
Stir it up. All right, Ted, Dan, you okay so far? Okay, you shaking your head? Okay, I can see that. Okay. Did you scroll and make sure Dan's okay?
Dan's right there.
Dan's right there. Dan, you okay? Okay, good. I got Dan and Ted right on the screen here. Okay. All right, let's now put on the wet marinade. All right, so here's where I learned a word from my British friends when I taught in London. You have to give the chicken a massage. Okay, a massage means that we're gonna rub the yogurt gently into the chicken to kind of give it a nice massage here. Get it into the little vents that we made, the slits we made here. And this whole thing now is ready to be marinated in the refrigerator. And ideally, this should be done, my opinion, about overnight. About 24 hours is good. But because this day is fast, we don't have time to do it overnight. We're just gonna cook it. So I'm gonna pretend like this went into the refrigerator off camera, right? And then it went back out of the refrigerator, voila. A day later, okay? So let's prep it for cooking. The cooking part is super easy. All you need to do is scrape away all the excess marinade. So assuming this was in the refrigerator overnight, I'm gonna do this. Get rid of all the excess yogurt.
Why?
Because the yogurt will burn, and the yogurt's already done its job, which is to marinate and tenderize the chicken. Good tandoori is characterized by super moist flavor, and the marinade and the salt will penetrate the meat, so you're going to get some fantastic flavor. Okay, so that's it, and we can pop it into the pit now. Okay, any questions from the folks cooking?
So Harry, would you recommend that we not cook this right now, that we let it marinate overnight and actually?
The refrigerator overnight and cook it tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys what we do outside.
Okay.
And
You
show you
can
guys.
post the recording tonight, so when tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you what do you call this is I'll put the recording off, but I figure out how to get the recording off Zoom and put it on somewhere, put YouTube or somewhere, or maybe on Zoom. I'm not sure what platform the video file stays on, but I'll figure it out after this session here. So
Harry?
Yes.
Harry? At some point during a real, Harry?
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
At some point during a real class, are you going to ask to look at how everybody else's chicken looks like?
That's a very good point. I don't want to put Ted and Dan on the spot, but you guys feel like showing your face de la resistance, right? Yeah. Show us how it looks like. Oh, okay, that looks pretty good. Excellent. Good job, Ted.
Put on mute.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Now, I see Dan's also. That looks pretty good. Yeah, you guys are following along, man. You guys are A student. Should give you guys the apple, you know. It's great. Okay, let me pause here. Any questions? Let me recap what we did, right? So we made the garam masala. Show you guys how to roast it, how to grind it. We then prepped the chicken. We did a few things with chicken. We cleaned it with lemon juice first. Then we put a little bit of salt. We put food coloring. And then we added some of the yogurt. We added the dry spices, which was the garam masala. It's a little bit of curry powder. And then we added the yogurt and Tandoori marinade. This sits overnight in the refrigerator. I'm going to cook it in a bit. All right, everybody get that? Cool. All right, so let me hold the camera. I'm going to pause it now. So we're going to cook it in a pit. So this is about probably 350-ish, so it's a little bit hot. I like 325. You notice that I did the whole thing on a wire rack. So guess what? I don't have to move the chicken. The whole wire rack goes into the pit. And when it's done, the whole wire rack comes right in. Okay? So while Amy gives you some close-up shots, I'm going to go and clean up the kitchen a little bit and get ready to plate the one that we just cooked.
And then put the lid back on.
Hey, Harry?
Yes.
Oh, you sliced the thighs and the breast, right?
We made slits into the thigh and the breast and the drum.
Oh, okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I see.
Okay,
so you
cool.
do that so for more flavor penetration or more color penetration or just faster cooking?
Faster cooking for flavor penetration and for overall presentation, which you'll see in a little bit.
Would you recommend not slitting the breast so that it cooks more evenly? Because the breasts are finishing at a lower temperature.
Yeah, you can, but that's not the tandoori style. So the tandoori style is they make slits. So if you want to follow the authentic way, that's what they do. But if you don't want to slit the breast, that's also fine. You're not going to get food color into the middle of the breast. That's fine. A lot of times tandoori is done using chicken parts. So it's not a rich man's dish. It's kind of a broken chicken parts. Smother it with the marinade, and then you cook it over tandoor, which is a kind of Indian clay oven. That's where the name comes from, tandoor. Tandoor is the name of the clay oven. Kind of like a imu, like the one you use for naan bread. So they stick the tandoori chicken pieces on a long metal skewer. They put it into that tandoor, which is very similar to the way they cook naan bread. Okay, I'm going to go inside and prep the chicken.
Yeah, hi, Harry. If you're doing multiple chickens, what's the temperature? I mean, does the temperature drop at all, or do you have to have considerations if you're doing multiple chickens?
Yeah, you probably will need to crank up the heat a little bit if you're cooking multiple birds. It also depends on the heat recovery of your pit. If your pit has a good heat recovery, it should recover really fast. But if you have like an offset, and you have more room, you should be okay. So Ted, and then if you guys want to put your tandoori chicken in the refrigerator, we will show you guys how to plate it. Yeah, question?
Yeah, it's you salted a lot because you were going to go and cook it right away. But if you were going to, you said that you were going to use less salt if you were going to put it in the fridge overnight.
Yes.
So about half the salt?
About 2/3.
2/3, okay.
Yeah, I want to sort of leave it up to you. Like my interpretation of salty, right, may not be your interpretation of salty.
Gotcha.
So it kind of depends on your own style. Some people enjoy salty food. Some people don't. All right, here's the bird. Here's the plate. So not rocket science to carve it because it's already scratched off. Super easy. You just cut it down the middle. So use a nice knife. You can get the thigh joint out. So thigh joint out. So get the wing. The way you cut the wing is you make a slit and then you fold it over, and that's where the joint is. You just cut through the joint. So you don't need a lot of force. A lot of people kind of hacksaw their chicken. You don't need to hacksaw your chicken. Grab the wing, make a slit, push it. Oops, overcooked here. So, okay. And we're going to take the chicken in the middle. So to answer Donna's question, you want to cut it open. The traditional way the chicken is served is served with rice. So with smaller pieces of chicken, it's a lot easier to kind of, eat it with rice versus a whole chicken breast. Because in Indian cuisine, you use your hands to eat. You don't use a knife and fork. So cutting it into nice pieces like this, right, allows you to use your hands. The Western way, we use a knife and fork. Chicken breast would work that way, but on a Indian style, eating with hands situation, it may not work so well. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Let me thigh. I like to leave the thigh whole. I usually serve with slices of lemon wedges, some onions. Okay, so there you have the completed dish. Tandoori chicken, done spatchcock style on any pit of your choice. About 325-ish, 350-ish will get you to this beautiful final finish. And like I said, if you don't like the food dye, don't put the color, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. So the way you eat it is you're gonna pick it up, drizzle the lemon on it, and take a bite. Super delish, moist, hit the salt. You get the exotic flavors of the cardamom, the coriander, warming spice. So really good stuff. Hopefully you guys can see that on this camera. No, which camera am I on? This camera. Okay. So I'll be interested to know what Ted and Dan, you guys are gonna cook it tomorrow. How you also come out, but not a terribly difficult dish to make.
Harry, about how long did that take to cook? And did you cook it to 165?
Depending on the heat and how fast your airflow is on the kettle, it'll probably take about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. So it depends on the size of your chicken.
Yeah.
How hot you run your pit.
Are you looking for a temperature?
I like about 325, 300, because this is really not sort of so much smoked chicken. It's more like kind of, you could say like rotisserie. I call it Costco style chicken. So Costco chicken is cooked at around 350. So that's how you kind of get the nice dark kind of like grill kind of look on it. You can see here, right? It looks like a kind of grilled, beautiful color. Oh, you need some basmati rice, and some raita, yogurt, and you're all set with some cucumber, and it makes an absolutely fabulous meal. And it's really good with a lot of what you call lemon. I like mine lemony. Okay, wanna try a piece, Amy?
Yeah.
My daughter wants to try a piece. Okay, go ahead, grab a piece.
Is Beans gonna try it?
Any questions from anyone?
Where's Beans?
No.
On this very quick. I'm sorry, Mr. Beans. Okay, I'm gonna feed Beans. Where's Beans? Let me go find him. Hang on, let me get him playing. As the most important part of the shoot is Mr. Beans enjoying the tandoori chicken here. Beans, where are you? Guess what? We have tandoori for you. Ooh, okay. Over here.
All right. He ran away.
Want tandoori chicken, Beans? Okay, sit. Sit.
Do the thing where he waits.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Try some.
Wait. Stay. Stay.
Okay, Amy's gonna try some tricks with him.
Stay. No.
No. Wait.
Stay. No.
Okay.
Stay.
Stay.
Stay. Stay.
That's
okay.
cruel.
It's
Okay,
cruel.
you can eat it.
It's cruel.
Where'd it go? It's over here. Look, it's over here.
Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. Beans gets his seal.
Mr.
Surprised
Beans.
he's eating because he's got a lot of lemon on it. It's the piece I ate. Right? Okay. Okay, guys. I hope you guys had as much fun watching the cook as I had cooking it. I'll be interested to hear your feedback, what you thought of the class. If this is something that you like and you want me to do more of, just let me know. There's at least 1,000 recipes in my head waiting to jump out, and we can do simple cooks like this, or we can go all the whole way and you do a full overnight cook. It's up to you guys to let me know what will be best for you. Okay.
Question, Harry. When you make the rice for this,
yes.
Apart from just making plain rice, do you add cardamom or anything like that to it to
yes.
give an aroma?
Yeah, so if you want to make like a saffron type rice, you need saffron threads. Let me show you how the saffron thread looks like. So saffron is the stamen of a plant, and you can see this here. So it's bright red. So you use a little bit of saffron, and it's the world's most expensive spice. It's thousands of dollars a pound. But you sprinkle some saffron threads. I like to put a little bit of cardamom, cloves, cinnamon sticks in the rice. I cook it in a rice cooker. So it's very like fragrant rice with hints of cardamom, hints of cinnamon. And the way you give it flavor is the same method as you use when you do like a Spanish or Mexican rice. We use a chicken base to give it flavor. We add a little bit of oil to the rice before we turn the rice cooker on. So salt, rice, oil, a little bit of chicken base, and saffron threads. And if you want to make it a little bit more yellow, you can add more of the turmeric. The turmeric will make it yellow, so you get a nice, beautiful yellow rice. It complements perfectly. You can see here, the yellow rice complements this beautifully. So this makes a beautiful dish of the tandoori chicken. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Harry.
All right, guys. So hopefully the recording worked. And for those patrons who wanted to come but couldn't make it, hopefully the recording will be saved somewhere. And I'm going to go retrieve it after this cook, post it on for my patrons and let you guys look at it. If you guys like this kind of a format, maybe we can do this on a regular basis and have everybody, up your cooking skills. I can go anywhere. I can cook Nepalese barbecue. I can cook African braai. We can make something like a Titanic chicken, or the chicken that was cooked on the Titanic before the Titanic sank. I don't know if you guys are interested, but I'm a kind of a history nerd and history buff. I like stuff like that. And do a little international tour around the country. There's just so many amazing, amazing flavors. I could cook Indian on my channel as just one cuisine, because within the Indian cuisine, there's like thousands of different recipes. You can go over to Asia, go to Southeast Asia, it'll blow your mind. I can make a sambal style chicken, make a nasi lemak chicken, and there's absolutely amazing, amazing flavors that I really want to introduce you guys to. And a lot of my techniques are really simple. They don't involve a lot of steps, just some good prep technique and methodology, and you can get a great result. Okay?
All right.
Cool. Thank you, Harry.
You are most welcome, everybody. And
thank you, Harry.
Post this online, and if you have any extra questions after you watch the recording, or you may have jogged your memory, just ask me a question, and we'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, and we're gonna Amy and I are gonna scarf down the chicken now. Amy's already you can't see, but Amy's already scarfing down the chicken as I'm talking.
All leg is gone.
Okay.
Leg is gone. Yeah, all leg is gone.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Catch you guys later.